Asta's back on the current banner, baby, and now it's time to pull some extra copies of the best free-to-play character in the game. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about how to build this lovely Asta because, like I said, she is the best free-to-play character in the game. And before you guys say, no, this character's better, no, this one's better, you're wrong. Asta is the best character in the game. So let's go ahead and talk about it by talking about her skills and what she can actually do for your team as a whole, and then we'll talk about how to build her and everything after that. If you guys don't want to hear about why she's so good and why she's so goated with the sauce, then there'll be timestamps in the video to skip to like Lightcones, Relics, everything like that. So if you do want to skip this part, feel free to do that. So gamers, let's go ahead and talk about why this pink-haired girl is so good for your account. So gamers, let's go ahead and talk about what she kind of does here. First, starting off with her Meteor Storm, her skill ability here. What this is going to do is it's going to target one enemy and then do 4 extra bounces. So a total of 5 bounces, but these are all random. So your first one hits a guaranteed enemy, and then the ones after that is going to hit random enemies. At E1, you will be able to get a chance to actually hit one more enemy, which does actually help with her energy regeneration. This also comes super in clutch when facing like a boss with a fire weakness because she can just shred enemy shields, like insanely shred their shields, and her break effect damage is already kind of high on top of this. So yeah, absolutely insane, absolutely cracked. This skill is really nice. This skill also does play into her talent as well, because when she hits multiple enemies, she's going to be getting multiple stacks of this charge ability she has, and for every stack she has, she's going to be increasing all of your allies' attack by a certain percentage depending on what level you have it at. Mine's at level 6, so it's a 10.5% increase, so she can give a max stack of 50% attack increase for me. This is only going to go up with levels as well, right guys? So this is just super good for any dot character you might have, aka Kafka, or any character like maybe say Danny Down Hung, where his damage multipliers are so high you want to boost the attack as much as possible. So this could be good for someone like him. This is just really good for multiple characters because it's really easy to get. As long as you're hitting like opponents that are weak to something, you can basically keep this up all the time, right? And then finally, what I think to be her best thing on her kit is going to be her ultimate. Her ultimate giga buffs the speed for all allies for 2 turns. This is like insane speed too. Like at level 5, it's 41 speed. That's a huge amount of speed. You're talking, you can probably get most teams, if you're running them like at 130 speed or something like that, at max level, you're probably talking around close to 200 speed for your whole team, right? Or like 180 speed for your whole team, which is absolutely insane just considering this. And then her ultimate cost is 120, so it's a little bit higher than some of the other characters in the game. I would say it's a good middle ground, but with running an energy recharge rope, the amount of time she actually hits with her skill, and then the light cones we're going to talk about running on her, this comes in clutch. Now, as far as what I would recommend leveling up on her kit, you realistically don't need any of the bonus nodes, right? She increases fire damage for all allies in the field. If you get 1 node, that'll be good when Topaz comes to the game, I think. Then you also have a chance to burn enemies, which could help with dot teams. And then she also has Constellation, which increases her defense for every charging stack she possesses. This could be good for her survivability, but you really don't need any of this stuff, right? The things that I would recommend upgrading on Asta would be her ultimate and her talent, right? You don't necessarily need the Meteor Storm. Her ultimate and talent, though, are going to be the biggest things you want to upgrade, because obviously the ultimate is going to be giving you speed, and the talent's going to be giving you extra attack every time you upgrade it as well. So these are the 2 things you want to be focusing on upgrading on Asta's kit. Like I said, you really don't need the Meteor Storm, and you really don't need the basic attack either. But that's really only in the circumstance that you don't want to waste too many resources on a character and just kind of build them up the most basic way. Those are the 2 main ones you want to focus on for everything. You can get the other ones after if you want, of course, and they will provide a little bit of extra damage. The basic attack really doesn't, but hey, who am I to judge? Now, before hopping into Asta's Relics, guys, please drop a subscribe on the channel. Only like 5% of you guys are actually subscribed to the channel, and it would really help out if you guys subscribed. We're going to be doing a giveaway for Fushuan when she comes out, so for that, you'll need to be subscribed to the channel and joined into the Discord. Anyways, let me stop coping and plugging, and let's go ahead and hop into the Relics now, or I think to be the best Relics for her. Now, what I run for her Relics is a 4-piece Hackerspace set. I do think that this is her best set as far as like the actual Relics go. We'll get into the planner set in a second here, but as far as like just like your relic set goes, I think 4-piece Hackerspace is the best. And this is because it increases her own speed, which means she's able to go more often and charge her ult up more often, which means you keep giving speed to your team more often. And then on top of this, whenever she uses her ultimate, it's going to be increasing the speed of all allies by an extra 12%. So this is just really huge all around the board. So I mean, like say a character has 100 speed, that's giving them an extra 12 speed, which could potentially help that character reach a new breakpoint speed to make them go extra times in one turn. It just helps a plethora of things, right? This extra speed really comes in clutch for the team and can really come in clutch for the team. So I do recommend running the full piece hacker space here. Now, another alternative you could run is I like running 2-piece speed on Asta, so I would always recommend running 2-piece speed on Asta at least. And then from there, you could always switch it up to go to like 2-piece Musketeer if you want a little bit extra attack, 2-piece Disciple if you're having trouble surviving. That'll give you a little bit more max HP for her. I think either of these could definitely work on Asta if that's what you're planning to do. And then one final thing you could run on Asta, right? And this is a bit out of the park, right? If you want to, you know, tread in these waters and have a super cracked out Asta that does a lot of damage, 4-piece Thief of the Shooting Meteor with a 2-piece Banditry for the planner set. We'll talk about the other planner sets in a second, but honestly, the increase in damage that the Thief provides, I mean, I'll show you here on screen, but this is going to be a 4-piece speed set versus a 4-piece Thief set with a 2-piece Bandit planner set. I mean, just look at the damage difference here when you actually break enemy shields, and you got to keep in mind, if you're facing a fire weak enemy, you're probably going to be breaking that enemy shield quite a bit, right? So, I mean, it's just absolutely insane the amount of damage she can do with this. So, I mean, it's completely viable if you want to run a 4-piece Thief set with her. I don't think it's her best in slot. I think this is better against certain enemies that are just fire weak and you're just trying to get some extra damage out. I do think overall the 4-piece speed set is better for her. But if you do want to run something like that, it is definitely viable. Now, all of these stats here that I've gotten are just going to be based off of the base amount of stats you need to activate each set bonus here. So for the Bandit set, we just got enough speed to get to the actual speed threshold to actually get the extra break effect and stuff like that, right? I do think the planner set you run on Asta is going to depend on a couple factors, right? Is your Asta surviving and dying? Do you not have much HP on your Asta? You might want to run a 2-piece Ageless, right? Just because it's giving that extra max HP and it's giving your whole team extra attack buff, right? And even in cases where you're running a dot team, right? This would also come in clutch because the extra attack means the extra dot you're getting out. Now, in cases where you're not running a dot team, I think that running a 2-piece kill set would be better for you, more beneficial for you, because it is giving you extra effect resistance. After you reach that 30% effect resistance threshold, you're getting extra crit damage to your whole team, which is honestly really good. It's really cracked the amount of damage you get out of this. So I mean, that is definitely another viable set to run. Now, of course, you can run a 2-piece of the Space Healing Station. Doesn't really do too much. Giving her extra attack really doesn't do that much overall, right? I just have this on right now because it has energy regeneration, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. Here's all the main stats you want for her. But yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I'm running this. I just can't find any other good sets with the other two ones, right? So, talking about the main stats you want for Asta. For your boots, you want speed. You want her to be as fast as possible, going as much as possible. I run speed boots here, and it has been great for me. For the body piece, guys, you're going to be wanting to run HP percentage or attack percentage. Whatever one works for you the best. I'm running HP percentage just so she's not dying all the time. That's what I found to be the best for me. On the sphere, you can run HP, attack, fire damage. I mean, fire damage would be the main one you would want to run if you're trying to get the extra break effect. But if you don't want to run that, then you could run HP as well if you want her to survive more. So, yeah. And finally, for the chain, you can either focus on energy, regeneration rate, attack, or HP percentage, whatever one you need more of. I would say attack percentage is probably the least priority here. Number one priority would probably be energy regen. HP would also be a good second priority to have just to make her survive a bit more. But I would honestly recommend an energy regeneration rope here if you can run it, because you ultimately want her to be as fast as possible and get her ultimate up as fast as possible, because that's the main thing driving her kit is going to be that speed buff that she's giving to the whole team. I think substats are pretty self-explanatory, guys. As far as what you want to be running on substats, I think all you really need here is going to be speed. HP percentage is fine. Break effect is also fine here as well. I mean, really, you can run anything for speed, right? She's really easy to build as far as substats. I mean, speed obviously is a big plus that you can have for her. And then, of course, break effect too, because she does do pretty big break effect damage already. And then from there, you can just either go more defensive, more offensive. It really just depends on you. But the main two things you want to focus on, I would say, would probably be speed and break effect. All right, now let's talk about her Eidelons. You're going to be summoning on the banner for your Dragon Danny, probably, right? So let's talk about her Eidelons and how good each of them are, because I think just about all of them, they're really good. Like, I think as far as Eidolon goes in the game, like, each one of these makes her significantly better. Starting off with E1 here, guys, it's going to be whenever she uses a skill, she's going to be targeting one extra enemy, so she hits one more time with her skill attack, which means more energy regeneration and also more breaking of the enemy shield as well. This is really huge. It'll help her get her speed and her ultimate back up faster. just really good all around for her. Second is when Asta uses her ultimate, Asta's charging stack will not be reduced the next turn. This means if you just got 5 stacks of your talent and you have like a max attack buff, whenever you use the ultimate, you won't have to worry about using that skill next turn, which makes her more SP efficient for the whole team, and you're keeping that attack buff up as well. Number 4 is going to be giving her extra energy regeneration rate. This one is actually huge. This is when she has 2 or more charging stacks, which will basically be all the time if you're taking her into matches where you're against fire weak enemies, because she already gets an extra stack when facing someone that has a type disadvantage. So this is going to be really, really good to have at E4. And then finally E6, charging stacks lost in each turn is reduced by 1. This means theoretically you could keep her at max stacks every single turn, because if you're facing a fire weak enemy and you hit them, you get 2 stacks. She takes away 3 stacks every single turn. So if it's reduced by 1, that means she's taking away 2 stacks per turn. So you just use a basic attack every single time and keep the max attack buff off. Like I said, her Eidelons really cracked, really good. If I were to say like there's one best one here to get, would probably be E4, just because of the extra 15% energy regeneration rate. But that's just me. It really depends on what you want to run here, right? One more thing to mention about the relics that I didn't mention before is you could run a 2-piece Von Whack here. I feel like the second part of it's kind of wasted, the one where you get advanced forward by 40% for the first turn. I think that's kind of dumb, but the extra energy regen is nice and can help out in certain situations. Now, before we talk about her best in slot Lightcones, if you want to see some of this testing done live or just see me cope out on stream, make sure you come check us out at twitch.tv/you2can't-see-me. We stream there just about every single day. It would really help out if you checked us out there. It'll be all in the description down below. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about her best in slot Lightcones now, which is honestly pretty sussy. Her best in slot Lightcone honestly is just meshing cogs. This Lightcone is correct, guys. Like, I think this Lightcone is very good for multiple supports, aka Yukong as well. I think this is really good for Yukong too, and just a lot of other support units in the game. The reason this is because whenever the wearer uses an attack or gets hit, they regenerate 8 extra energy 1 time per turn at an S5. This is a completely free-to-play Lightcone. I'll show you the stat difference here now between a 3-star Lightcone and a 4-star Lightcone as far as how it actually affects your stats. Really not that much variance there, right? So, I mean, this right here is super good. Like, this allows her to charge up so much extra energy. This is also affected by the energy regeneration rate as well. So the more ERR you have, the bigger this number theoretically can be, right? Which means the faster you charge up your ultimate on top of that. This is just super good. Wouldn't recommend skipping on this. I would definitely use this. It's a free-to-play Lightcone. This is probably her best in slot and a free-to-play Lightcone on top of that. Another one you could use, guys, would be Dance. This is going to be advancing forward your allies' actions by 16% whenever you use an ultimate. Like I said, this could just be really good because it's going to advance forward their actions by 16% whenever you get the ultimate, which will help your allies out a lot. Advancing forward action is always better than speed, just because it has a higher multiplier. It makes them go faster than speed would make them go faster, right? So Dance could be a viable option to run her. And also, whenever a Topaz and Noonby comes out, this could be a good one right here. Planetary Rendezvous, just because it'll increase that fire damage typing. So you could level this up for the future. Not really good on anyone right now unless you use her with Hook, right? Or, I guess, Himeko as well. But these are the 2 that I would recommend. Best free-to-play option for sure, and what I think to be best in slot 4 is probably Meshing Cogs. Now, I'm not going to do a character showcase or anything like that because I don't think we really need to show off what she does. I think it's kind of hard to actually show off what she does. Instead of that, though, I think you guys should have a grasp of how good the character is itself already. If not, then L, I guess. But let's go ahead and talk about like what kind of teams that she can be ran on and what situations you would preferably want to bring her into, right? Obviously, there's certain teams you wouldn't want to bring her into, right? You wouldn't want to bring her into a team with Clara, right? Because Clara wants to be slow. You do not want to bring her into a team where the character wants to be slow. For really well speed 2 teams, I think she can kind of mess things up, but if you can work around it, she can also be really good for Dragon Danny, right? If you can get him up to the speed where he's going more consistently and being able to like use his skills more consistently, and you're able to do that with the rest of your allies as well. A-OK, Pog by me, I think it'll be really good for Dragon Danny, right? Honestly, with Jing Yuan, she is really good for Jing Yuan because you want Jing Yuan going as many times as possible to get your Lightning Lord stacks up. So honestly, I would say a necessity for Jing Yuan. And then finally, on a dot comp, because you want Kafka to keep going, to keep reprocking dots off. This is going to be really good for Kafka. On top of this, when you break the enemy shield with Asta, you're getting more dot than the enemy, so it just automatically works out really well for you. So, I mean, there are a lot of teams you can be running, right? Of course, against enemies, you won't be focusing on enemies with a fire weakness, But overall, I mean, she works really well in just about every single team, with the exception of Clara, right? I think she can still work really well with Draken Danny. It just might be harder to work around, right? But anyways, gamers, that's going to do it for today's video. We're going to be having another build guide come out later this week talking about Yukong. If you want to see that, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to enter the giveaway, all you need to do to enter the giveaway when it comes up will be to subscribe to the channel and join the Discord. It'll be in the description down below. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video, boys. Hope you enjoyed. Can't wait to see you in the Yukong build guide and some of the other videos we do as well. Notably, one talking about the best 5 free-to-play characters in the game. Anyways, that's going to do it. I'll stop plugging now. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Bye-bye.